Hi, this is Merlin, and today you're watching her digital double. This channel exists to explore how AI quietly shapes what we buy, how we think, and how brands grow without us ever noticing. And today's story is not about ads, funnels, or algorithms. It's about something far deeper because there is a system on this planet that often knows what you're going to need before you consciously realize it yourself. It prepares inventory for your life changes. It rearranges marketplaces around your habits. It shapes what you see when you see it and how easily you say yes. And you interact with it almost every day. This is the story of how Amazon learned to read human intent and how the same intelligence is now reshaping the future of ethical AI powered growth. You open Amazon for one simple thing: a charger, a book, a bottle of vitamins. 5 minutes later, you're buying three items you never planned to. And the strange part is not that you bought more. The strange part is that it feels right, timely, almost familiar, as if the system already knew what your life was about to need. That is not coincidence, that is prediction. Amazon does not wait for demand to appear. It studies the invisible signals that form long before a need becomes conscious. It does not react to your choices. It prepares for your next chapter. Right now, there are hundreds of millions of people feeding this system without realizing it. Every pause, every scroll, every hesitation, every product you almost buy, these are not clicks. They are behavioral fingerprints. They form what scientists call latent intent, the silent beginning of a future decision. And when those curves appear, something remarkable happens. Inventory begins to move closer to you. Warehouses rebalance, delivery routes shift, marketplaces rearrange, which is why Prime feels instant. It isn't fast, it's early. Behind the scenes, everything you do sharpens the system. Your behavior updates the models. The models reshape what is shown. What is shown reshapes behavior. And the loop grows stronger with every cycle. This is not marketing, this is market design. The first products you see are not the best ones. They are the ones most likely to convert you based on probability, margin, fulfillment cost, and behavioral readiness. You are not browsing a store. You are moving through a carefully arranged persuasion layer, and slowly, quietly, this does something deeper. When buying becomes effortless, your brain compares less. Delay disappears, impulse becomes normal, and slowly your behavior becomes predictable. Predictable behavior becomes steerable. And this is the moment the story changes. Because once you see what Amazon has built, the question is no longer whether prediction can shape markets. It is who gets to shape them and how. Because the same systems that prepare inventory before demand exists can also prepare human behavior before awareness forms. And that changes the ethical center of growth. If data can guide decisions before people consciously make them, then growth is no longer a sales function. It becomes a design responsibility. Amazon optimized for control, but the next era of brands must optimize for care. The future will not be built on watching people more closely. It will be built on serving people earlier, not by predicting purchases, but by recognizing needs while they are still forming. This is where modern AI growth systems change shape, not as automation stacks, but as anticipation systems. The most powerful signals do not come from hidden trackers. They come from invited moments, from what people search inside your product, from what they ask your support team, from what content they finish, from what features they abandon, from what communities they speak in, from what problems they openly describe. These are not surveillance points, they are permission moments. They allow understanding without intrusion. And understanding without intrusion builds loyalty instead of dependency, because real humans do not live inside funnels. They move through mental stages, learning, comparing, testing, preparing, expanding. And AI can read those curves through behavior, not to push people forward, but to meet them where they already are, which changes everything. The smartest systems do not offer discounts first, they offer clarity first. When friction rises, they bring understanding. When usage drops, they bring guidance. When teams grow, they bring structure. When confusion appears, they bring light. And something subtle happens. Trust forms before transactions do. Choice feels safe. Movement becomes natural. Good growth design does not remove choice, it removes stress. It protects time, attention, decision confidence, exit freedom, comparison. Because the safer people feel, the faster they move without being pushed. And when prediction becomes visible, when brands explain why something appears, influence turns into partnership. You might find this useful based on how you're using the product. Teams at your stage often ask about this. This could simplify your workflow. Pressure becomes partnership. Funnels become journeys. Discounts become support. Tracking becomes trust. Growth stops feeling like persuasion. It starts feeling like progress. Amazon built the machine, but machines do not build relationships. The brands that rise next will not be the ones who watch people the most. They will be the ones who understand people the deepest and serve them earlier. Because the future of growth will not be about controlling behavior, it will be about respecting it. And here's the part most people miss: there are brands that grow by selling more, and there are brands that grow by quietly shaping how people make decisions, what feels safe, what feels normal, what feels like the obvious next step. In the next story, we're stepping inside a company that didn't chase attention, didn't shout, and didn't race for scale, but still managed to reshape an entire habit, an entire category, and an entire generation's behavior, not through ads, through design. And once you see how that worked, you'll start noticing the same invisible pattern everywhere. In the apps you open, the tools you trust, and the AI systems quietly guiding modern life. Because the real shift is no longer about faster growth. It's about who gets to design the future of choice. If stories like this change the way you see growth, choice, and technology, stay with AI growth stories. Like, share, and subscribe, because this is where we keep decoding the forces shaping modern behavior, one quiet pattern at a time.